Making a mini album, and so far I've done most of the work for it, but I thought I would just film the rest of it, the measurements that I used. I went ahead and made up a pocket. I tried several different ones until I got the end result that I wanted. So I went ahead with this size, and I'm making pockets and then putting them in a little mini album. So the size that I went with is 7 by 8 and 6 by 7.5, and then I scored the larger one a 1/2 inch on both sides and cut the tabs out. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. I have 2 pieces of black paper. That's the base pocket that I'm making them out of, is black. 12 by 12. If you had 8.5 by 11, there would be a lot less waste. So I'm going to cut one of them 7 by 8. Okay, that one's 7 by 8. Next sheet of paper I'm cutting 6 by 7.5. Okay, this one's 6 by 7.5. And this one you don't need to score or anything like that. Let me put my trimmer up. Get my scoreboard out. Okay, and on the piece of 7 by 8, I'm going to put it on the 7-inch side, and I'm going to go ahead and score it at a 1/2 inch on both sides. So that's at a 1/2 inch and 6.5 inches. Again, that gives me a 1/2 inch score line on both sides. Okay, then I'm going to flip that around and score it again at a 1/2 inch. So you could do either side. I'm just doing the 7.5. And this is again on the 8-inch side. I'm giving it a 1/2 score. Okay, so we have just on 3 sides we have a 1/2 inch score. And then we're going to go ahead and cut this tab out here. Let me put my scoreboard up. Get that out of the way. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the corners out here. I'm going to miter the corners right where the 2 score lines meet. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder and give these a crease on the score lines. And then what we're going to do is take the 6 by 7.5 and basically just place it right on here, glue it, and that gives us a pocket. And what I like to do is start at the top right, and you want to use something strong. I've used both score tape and hot glue, and actually the hot glue seems to work better for me. You just need to be careful not to get the hot glue, you know, to where when you press down on it, it squeezes into your pocket. So I line up this corner here. And you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take off these corners here just to give me a better fold so you don't see those. Just taking a little piece off on both ends there. And again, I'm going to go ahead and line up this corner here and start there. I don't know if my glue gun is warmed up yet, but I'm just going to do a little piece at a time to get it started, to get it lined up. I'm going to finish this side here. Let me make sure it's lined up. And being that it's black on black, it really doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to get it as best you can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue the rest of this. Trying to be careful not to go over the fold line so it doesn't glue my pocket shut. And you might find that ATG or score tape is easier. I like the way hot glue works, so. Push that down. And I really like the size pocket that you're able to make with this, because you can get, you know, quite a nice size picture in these. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and mat the front and back of this. I'm using the K & Company Wild Saffron paper. Okay, so 7 1/4 by 5 3/4. And I'm going to need 2 pieces, so I'm going to cut this one by 5 3/4. Cut it on this side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mat both of these, both sides here, and I'll go ahead and put it in fast play. Okay, so here's our pocket, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Crocodile on the largest setting, the 3/16. I'm going to use this as a template. And punch my holes. I'm actually using extra large eyelets, so I'm going to need a bigger hole than this, so I'm just going to kind of make my own hole looking like this. I need a little bigger than that. That's a little too big, but it should hide it. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, and the eyelets that I'm using I got in the sewing section at Walmart. Determine which is going to be which. Okay, I'm going to have it like this. Next, I'm going to make the pocket insert. I already cut a piece of paper down to size. This is cut, I believe, let's see, 5 3/4. Yeah, 7 1/2 by 5 3/4, and then I'm going to go ahead and use a Frisker's punch on the edge using the treading waters. Let me go ahead and do that. And I have 2 mats to go on either side of it, and these are, I believe, let's see, 5 1/2 by 6 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down. This will go obviously for inside the pocket. And I made it to where the border would show a little bit. I like the way that looks. So that'll be my last page. I made 5 pages total. And I went ahead and set the eyelets already. And I made all the tags for them, or the pocket inserts. And the cover, I used, I cut out cereal boxes, and I used 2 of them for the front and the back cover. I just hot glued them together, and then I glued the paper on top. This is paper, this is out of my stash, this tealish color, and this is from the DCWB green stack. And I went ahead and set eyelets in those as well. I cut this out on real dial size from my Elegant Edges, and it's the Top Note book feature. And I cut this out again on the real dial size at 6 1/4 by 9, or excuse me, by 10, and that'll just fit right in here. And open this way. Okay, so I'm gonna gather some supplies to put this all together and decorate the cover and some of the pages, and I'll be right back. So here's the finished book. The only thing that I did a little bit different that doesn't show on the video is I bound this with binder rings instead of using the ribbon. I still glued a ribbon bow on here just because I like the way it looks. But I didn't like the way that the ribbon was holding the book up, or I should say not holding the book up. And again, these are Wild Orchid craft flowers here. And I did add an epoxy sticker. See if you can see that. And it says Moments. And a stick pin that I had made right here. And some, these are from the jewelry department. I have one here and one here. And a Tim Holtz key. It says Life. Making Memories. Metal Butterfly. Tim Holtz tag that says love in the frame. And on the inside I tried to keep it pretty simple. Right here I have a vellum quote that says happiness is something to do, something to love, something to hope for, using some halfback pearls. And I used the Tim Holtz ornamental die with a homemade flower, and in the center I used a frog feathers trim, and I left it open so if she wanted to either put a picture or use this for journaling. And there's also another epoxy sticker that says Wonder, and I figured she could put all her pictures on the insert, the pocket inserts. Okay, and on the other side I have a mat here with some buttons and a Martha Stewart butterfly punch. Another mat. And I have a Tim Holtz ticket that I left open so she could put a picture behind with some Recollections halfback pearls. This one I left blank right here. And on this side I used a Heidi Swap stamp, and I embossed it with clear embossing powder, again with the Tim Holtz ornamental die. And then I used some Wild Orchid craft flowers with some leaves, and on the flowers I sprayed them with some Perfect Pearls Forever Blue. And on this side I just used some halfback pearls and another sticker, epoxy sticker that says Reflection. On this side I used a 3D flower that I got from Pro 31 Designs, and I left the back blank.